So, first question, how was your transition to college golf and college sports in general?
So it was, I think, very hard because back home in the Czech Republic, we don't have like a high school sports. And I'm only a child. So I was always like by myself, very individual. And now you come to college as a freshman and, you have a big hopes, big goals. And I just had to do everything with the team and I had to do everything what the coach says. And I couldn't really do whatever I wanted, and I was always like kind of boss of my own time. And I came as a freshman who was 21-year old. Like I didn't came as a freshman who was 17, 18. So I already had some experience in driving by myself to tournaments and like practice whenever I need. And suddenly nothing was what I need, but what the team says to do.
Hmm. Yeah. So, during the transition, did you feel like any anxiety or just were you a little annoyed that you didn't have that freedom still? Like, how did you adjust kind of?
So I think anxiety came after our season finished in the fall because we were like 7 weeks. First 7 weeks, we had 5 tournaments. So you're every Wednesday till Sunday, you're gone. And I was not very, but I was annoyed
Hmm.
just because the planning and like golf as being outside sport, you also really depend on weather. So like it's not only on coaches, but coach can change her plan. I'm very big planner. Like I like to plan stuff. I like to know what is happening. And if I don't know what is happening on first day when it's Tuesday today, I really get anxious about it. So that was like kind of source of my anxiety. But then
Hmm.
the anxiety came much bigger once the November hit and we were postseason and I was, far from home and I had only school kind of, we didn't have tournaments. So that's when it came really, when it really hit.
Yeah. So, what are some things that you think helped you get to a good place when it's like November and there's no season?
So in general, no, like in November, but in general, like when I'm anxious, what a lot like helps me. It's call my mom or like I have like a list of people I really want to keep in touch with when I'm here back home or even here in the US. And I just call them, FaceTime and check on them and they check on me because I already called them. So they at least ask. And I just, it's just a couple minutes, just interaction with people who are like very close to my heart. Then I really like to read and that really helps me. And it doesn't matter if it's like a mental health book or just a novel, it doesn't really matter, but that's really also helping me a lot. And I also like to journal. And what really helped me is a meditation, which
Hmm.
when I started, I didn't really understood. But once I got into it with my mental coach and I said, like I'm meditating and I'm having these thoughts and I'm not able to meditate. And she's like, no, that's right. Like the thoughts are gonna come, but you need to understand that the thoughts are coming and you're letting them go, which is the same thing as you have a bad thoughts on the golf course and you're like, there's the water on the right. Well, you understand that thought, you acknowledge it, and you just let it go because there is a water, but you're not gonna go swim, right? You're just gonna hit a straight shot.
Right. Yeah, I love that, especially about the support system. Kind of moving into a different avenue. Do you think that the NCAA and colleges in general do enough to support athletes, like with their mental health, especially?
Wow. Um, from my perspective, as being in Louisville, and we're starting our mental health club, and this past semester, I've seen a great support of it, but also
Yeah.
thanks to that, since I'm working from last semester and this semester, and I'm there every week, at least 1, 2 meetings with different people in different departments, I see the backstage of it
Hmm.
and I see how hard it is. And and it's only one school. So
Right.
I think that people might be trying on NCA and I don't have meetings there, so I don't know what is going on there, right? But
Yeah.
I think that COVID just like hit it very hard and it was kind of
Hmm.
the bottom. And now is the time that actually there are options and it's the time to do something about it. And maybe it's just very, very slow process. And
Right.
maybe just schools need to go towards him and help them as well, not just like wait NCAA school and then student athletes. Maybe it just needs to go both way.
Hmm.
So I would say I'm hoping on NCAA they're doing something,
Mhm.
I'm not saying they are doing enough or they are not doing enough. I'm hoping they are doing something, and it's just a very slow process. And college sports, I think it's just very hard for them because we look at them as like as a sports, but also as a student athletes, right? But a lot of athletes are just dealing with a normal depression, anxiety, not coming from a sport perspective or being an athlete, but just being a
Mhm.
human being.
Right. Yeah, thank you. That's a great answer. So last question, what advice would you give to young girls? Could be anything.
um don't be scared to talk about it. Talk about anything. Honestly, it doesn't have to be mental health. It doesn't have to be sport related. If you're an athlete, if you're an athlete and you're just talk about it and make connections. There is nothing better than have a support system, and the best support system is people. And someone doesn't have to be gifted with a great family environment, but there are always friends. And for me, one of my best friends is my coach, and I'm so grateful for her. And I know she is a blessing for me. And just don't be scared to talk to coaches, because they're human beings too. And if they're a coach, they used to be athletes at some point too, so they understand a lot what you're going through.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. Thank you.